First Nations across the province are getting closer to signing treaties that could change their way of life and could reinvent their future. It's been a long time coming. The province's chief treaty commissioner said just last year that it might be time to shut down the entire process because it simply wasn't getting anywhere. Today, however, a new ray of hope from the commissioner, who says there is now progress being made. CTV's Jet Bazzi reports some say it's still not coming fast enough.
The treaty process is not broken.
The BC Treaty Commission releases its annual report, evidence of little progress despite 2 decades of work.
Really, the parties had started to look at this negotiations as just another program within government. That's what's broken, and that's what needs to be fixed.
It's been 20 years since the federal and provincial governments signed an historic agreement with First Nations, a treaty process that would safeguard First Nation languages, institutions, and culture. But despite the strong start, only 2 treaties have been signed. 13 others are in the works. Chief Commissioner Sophie Pierre says lack of talks is to blame.
Our message has gotten through because we have seen a more concerted effort in the last year that we had in the previous 3 years.
Just last year, Pierre almost surrendered, saying treaty negotiators were refusing to make bold moves, but the new agreements are a glimmer of hope.
Yes, there's still a long way to go, but at least we seem to be heading in the right direction.
That is not the success that First Nations were looking for 20 years ago.
Snuneymuxw First Nation Chief Douglas White was there the day the agreement was signed in Squamish. At the time, it gave him hope. But today, he says his frustration has reached the boiling point. His people have been trying to get the federal government to respect the Douglas Treaty of 1854, a treaty that recognizes Snuneymuxw First Nation's right to hunt and fish. He has not seen success.
That is what the Snuneymuxw people have been clear about for many years now, that treaty that's existed for close to 160 years now has to be respected in any process.
Chief White blames the lagging negotiations on the federal government.
They seem to think that negotiations are only important if the First Nation side agrees with federal mandates, and that they can simply walk away or disengage.
White is in talks with both levels of government to reconcile the Douglas Treaty, and he says he won't give up.
And so what we're doing is we're having tripart discussions about that issue alone. So that's where we're at now. We're not engaged in negotiations on any other issue other than the proper respect and implementation of the Douglas Treaty.
The BC Treaty Commission is optimistic. It says the new land claim agreements have revived treaty-making processes, and it hopes it won't be another 20 years before the deals are done. Jet Bazzi, CTV News, Nanaimo.